Hello. I am Miriam, co-founder and COO of Keto Chow.
I'm Chris, also co-founder, president, and the technical guy behind Keto Chow. If you're brand new to Keto Chow, it's a nutritionally complete meal designed to make doing keto super easy. We also have some electrolyte supplements that are amazing for everyday use and for keeping the dreaded keto flu away.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the little bell icon for updates on all our Keto Chow happenings. These live streams help us be accountable and stay on track, so thanks for joining us on our keto journey.
Indeed, I was doing my radio announcer voice. Could you tell? Hi, it's Steve from Serious Keto. No. Anyway, we got Carrie here and
Hi,
Stephanie.
Carrie. Hi, Stephanie.
Mary says hi from
Hi, Mary.
KCMO.
Hi, Cindy. Mwah.
Cindy's here. Evelyn is
Hi,
here as well.
Evelyn.
Visual Keto just bounced over from Dustin's live.
Aw, hi,
Preceded
Visual
by
Keto.
Chris Cooking Nashville's live.
Yeah.
Exposing Darkness says, I thought I missed this. So happy I didn't. And
Miss
Hadish
Hadessa.
is here from Texas. Rick
Hi,
was here.
Rickman.
So is Sandra. So, how was your day?
And Carrie.
And Carrie.
Hi, Carrie.
I already said hi to Carrie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. Hi, Carrie. My day was freaking amazing.
Okay.
How was your day?
It was pretty good. I went down the natural flavors rabbit hole. We're going to talk about that later.
Again, you
Yes.
can't get off the natural flavors rabbit hole.
It's a hot topic for a lot of people, and not the kind of place where they sell mini skirts to goth girls.
Right.
Different kind of hot topic.
I went to the gym today
Oh,
and
nice.
I felt amazing all day.
Okay. Mary
Amy.
J is here. My name is
Mary
Mary
J.
J, and I'm addicted to Keto Chow, especially in my Ninja
I
Cream.
feel that.
Me too.
I had an orange cream mixed with chocolate core creamy for lunch today
I had the exact same thing.
in a coat.
I did not have it in a coat. I had it in a Ninja Creamy thing.
I was wearing a coat because it was freaking 30 degrees here today.
Okay.
We looked outside and it was raining, but
it rained
it's
all
been,
day.
off and
great.
on, 70 to 40, right?
Uh-huh.
And today it just tanked.
Yep.
And the mountains look so pretty because
Did it
they
snow?
are covered in snow.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
It is supposed to get a little warmer for Halloween.
Halloween.
And every year for Halloween, one of the things we do is we have 20 pounds, I think, of bacon in the fridge already.
I don't think we need 20 pounds.
Well,
I thought
I'm
we
gonna
usually
ta-
only do 5
I'm going to take the
pounds.
four packages. Anyway, we have a lot of bacon in the fridge.
Yep.
We're going to take it. We're going to cook bacon for the trick-or-treaters on the Blackstone griddle.
We go down to the bottom of our circle. We have a big circle. It's like 12 houses. And everybody comes together. They bring their chairs. We bring tables and a fire pit. And Chris brings the barbecue grill.
And that light.
The Blackstone. Also
This
that
light.
the light that comes. And we just have a good old neighborhood party. And it is so fun. And all the trick-or-treaters know to come to our circle because it is the best circle.
It's like the last 6 years we've done it. So Donna's here from Central Texas.
Hi, Donna.
Chris Cooking Nashville is here. So
Hey,
is
Chris.
Paige from
Hi,
Is
Paige.
Tennessee. So many people from Tennessee.
Oh, they're
What
so
the-
awesome.
Donna says, can I just say your customer service is fantastic.
I agree.
Yep.
Thank you for talking to them.
Debbie's here, and Jennifer Lucas says,
Hi.
keep your zero maltodextrin videos coming. I've corrected 2
Oh,
people today
great.
that claim salty has maltodextrin.
Hey, thank you, Jennifer.
So we're going to talk about that in a bit. Marie
that's
is
Chris's
here.
rabbit hole.
So is
He's
Lynette.
crazy into it. Hi, Lynette.
Hadessa.
Yeah.
Did I do that right? It says keep your smile. Keep seeing your smile just makes me
Oh, thank you.
Chris Cooking, I'll just say Chris. Love the natural flavors rabbit hole on there too.
Yeah, it's a thing.
And Bonnie says, I'm listening while shoveling out from our first big snowfall
Oh
in
my
Anchorage,
gosh, Bonnie.
Alaska.
I wish I was shoveling with you. That's such a good workout.
Brenda is quoting the
Howdy,
shark
howdy.
from
I'm Woody.
from Toy Story. Howdy,
How are you,
howdy.
Brenda?
Carl says, different kind of rabbit hole indeed. Mini skirts to goth girls, right?
Yeah.
Gina says, good evening, everyone. How y'all doing this terrific
Hey,
Tuesday?
Gina.
Doing okay. Meg's here. So is Crystal.
Meg. Hi,
Marie says, the
Crystal.
rain this morning and snowed in the mountaintops
Yep.
where it belongs.
I know. I was so happy it wasn't snowing where I was.
Was it last year? 2 years ago, we got really heavy snowfall all year long.
It was
all
awesome.
winter.
Yeah.
In the mountains.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Well, let's do that again this year.
Yeah. Visual Keto says, yeah, 30 degrees. We had weirdly unseasonable 82. Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Teresa says, no candy here. Well, in the
Yes.
past, you've gotten
I always
stuff.
get trinkets and toys, and I literally bought them today. So
Oh, okay.
as late as
I was thinking that
last
you
minute.
weren't going to. But
I did. I got sticky hands.
Oh, okay.
So, and I did actually get some little squishies. What are the squishy things called?
I don't know. Goo balls?
No, they're like little people.
Oh, I don't know.
They're like little cute people.
Well, Marie's on the laptop again.
Oh,
and
good.
Marianne is here as well. Says
Hey,
good
Marianne.
evening. Meg says I had beef for dinner. I also
Yeah.
had beef for lunch.
Well, I was going to make Joe and Rachel's bacon cheeseburger casserole.
Yes.
What I knew we were missing 2 kids because they're still at college, and then one was
Then you
going
found
to
out
an
you were missing
activity,
3 kids.
and then one went to a Halloween party, and I'm like, I do want to make food for Chris and I, but
So I'm having keto chow for dinner.
I would rather have it on a day that everyone can enjoy it. So
Yep.
I had yogurt and some chicken salad and a sugar-free Jell-O for dinner,
Okay.
and it was delicious.
Lisa says hello from Phoenix. I can't wait for my candy.
Hi, Lisa.
So
Oh,
speaking of the
yes.
cracked snacks
Yes.
collaboration.
I am sorry it sold out so quickly.
Yeah, they only were able to make so
We-
many of them.
We knew there was going to be a limited amount, and they are gone, and they were
Actually,
gone in the
I
first
thought it was
day.
going to take longer to sell out. I thought it
Oh,
was going to
really?
take a lot longer.
I wish I would have ordered some, because I really want to have one of those for Halloween.
Yep.
But alas,
But
I will
in
not.
the description of this video, you will find a link to the Instagram
Okay.
post where you can enter.
That's me.
That is not you.
Yes, it is.
Your hair is not that blonde or that long.
Also, I don't wear yellow very often.
Yeah, you're also not a stock photo.
What?
So there's the Instagram link and there is the Facebook link. Let's see if it'll actually
Yeah.
load. There it is, giveaway.
It's totally me.
Yep. So you can enter to win on both of them. It's the only way that you can get it right now because they are out of stock. So,
Yeah, they're gone.
Yep.
But that was fun. And
Yeah,
it was fun to develop, and they're delicious.
below
So
in the-
let us know what you think when you get them,
Indeed.
if you ordered them.
And they were expensive. They were around
It was-
$5 each.
Yeah. But it's so nice to
He
just
makes
have
them by
a
hand.
little treat.
Yep.
Just one little
Jan
treat.
says it's going to be 80 here on Halloween.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah. Ours is going to be, I think, 70 something? Or maybe
Lisa bought glow
60?
sticks.
Oh,
In the
I love
past,
that.
we've done little water bottles.
Yep, we've done toothbrushes, we've done
pencils,
pencils, we've done
fidget
pencils a lot. We did a whole bunch of 3D printed little animals last year. We've done bouncy balls.
We done bounce
we
balls.
Actually, we were doing non-treats for
Before
Halloween
we started
way
doing
before
keto.
we started keto.
Yep.
Because we have 6 children, and 6 children that get a lot of candy, that turned into a lot of candy.
So I think I've
For a
told this
long
story
time.
before, but when I was a kid, my mom, we didn't have health insurance because
Right.
my dad owned his own business.
Because
And
that's what
kind of
happens when
idiot
you own
has
your
their
own business.
Anyway, we didn't have health insurance, and we always all got sick at Halloween because we always ate so much candy. So my mom finally devised a method of reducing her costs,
Yeah.
which was we could go to dinner. We could go to Su Casa, Mexican restaurant,
Yeah.
which we never went to dinner. Like it was a
It was a big
twice
deal.
a year
Yeah.
thing to go
Which
to dinner.
was Halloween, right?
Uh-huh. And so we could go to dinner but we were still allowed to go trick-or-treating to like 3 houses.
Yeah.
So just like the neighbors and across the street.
Right.
And we were on that because because we were always getting sick at Halloween. And Donna's having blueberry pie for dinner.
Ooh,
Nice.
that sounds yummy.
Meg says, I don't want snow. I haven't been able to replace my bald tires yet.
No!
We need to
we gotta
replace-
replace my tires.
Your tires?
Some tires. Some tires that are ours in our cars.
Zippy's tires
Yeah.
need to be replaced. Paige says squishmallows. There you go.
Yes,
Shari is
thank
here.
you, Paige. The little squishy thing. I got some of those, but it's like a little vampire and like a little
Nice.
jack-o'-lantern dude. They were like $12 for a few of them, but
Marie
I
hasn't
thought
bought
that'd be
anything to
fun.
hand out yet. You know what you can do?
You can just turn off the light.
I can't say for sure that Joe has done this, but we've joked about it. Put a bowl out with a
Yeah,
sign that
that
says,
says, "Take
please
one."
take only one.
and then it's just empty.
An empty bowl.
Isn't that nice to the little children? We've had people give popcorn and different and chips too.
I think the water bottles was one of the best
We had
ideas.
people give out like those little things of soda before. That was fun. Yeah, we did water bottles. It was funny because all the parents were like, "Wow, this is great."
Oh, this is great.
Just those little tiny
a lot
water
of the kids
bottles.
were really happy.
The kids
too.
were happy too because they
just
were
the little,
not feeling
the
very
tiny
good.
ones
Yeah.
from Costco. Marie says we have to see what trinkets we have left over from previous years.
Yeah, that's what I usually do. Just pull it
Meg
out.
says the tire store wants something called money.
What?
I've
That
never heard
tire
of strange
store
stuff.
is overrated.
Kathy here says, "Hey guys, a happy bacony Halloween." Absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be delicious.
Let's see. Marianne says
We
we're
should
going to hide
make
from the
some side
trick-or-treaters
dishes, though.
again.
I forgot.
For what?
For the thing. I'll probably just make deviled eggs. I make deviled eggs for everything. Because
Stephanie wants to know, can the bars be frozen? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, they can.
That's what's so great about them is because you don't have to eat them all. You have one, or you split one with somebody, and then you put it in the freezer for your stocking for Christmas.
Strange Student wants to know which of them was my favorite. Probably the
Raspberry cheesecake.
Well, we got prototype ones that because he was trying to get the thickness of the coating right.
And it took us a couple of months to just give him feedback, and then he'd send another batch, and then he'd send another batch, and we tested a whole bunch of flavors too.
Lynette says they don't get many trick-or-treaters, so they hand out Hot Wheels and Play-Doh.
Heck yes!
Dang! And Gina
I'm
does
coming to your
bookmarks,
house.
pencils, and rubber duckies.
Oh, we did rubber duckies one year too. All the different Halloween ones. Do you remember that? It's because he does the bacon, I do the treats.
Carrie says that one time when he was back in the Marines, somebody cracked open a glow stick and got it all over them. Their uniforms were glowing.
Oh, no.
Paige says, I have 3 of the boxes coming, and I wouldn't sell them even if I could get $500 a box on eBay.
That's so
I'm
nice.
hiding them.
Hide them in your freezer. That's the best place to hide them.
Gina's going to be Miss Frizzle for Halloween this
Oh
year.
my gosh, that's so cute.
So
freaking
Miriam
love
and
that.
the kids got
I call it Hinata, but it's a show called Haiku.
Haiku.
Yes, and it's an anime show, and it's a volleyball team.
Yep.
And the whole series is just all about these kids that grow up and play volleyball.
Learning how to play volleyball and come
and
together
they're
as
really
a team.
cute. And my girls got us into it. Chris doesn't watch it, of course, because why would he watch something with a family?
I have other stuff I need to do, like watch Chris cooking Nashville's videos.
I'm sure he wouldn't be
super
mad.
behind.
He would be fine if you watched the show with us. He would be
He
fine.
says we should give out mini Keto Chow shots. Marie says I had maple waffle with toasted pecans. It was supposed to be a creamy, but by the time I was done spinning, it was a beautifully chilled, thick pudding. There you go. Let's see. Carl says, pass out your abandoned LMNT packets.
Oh.
I actually still use my LMNT packets.
I am going to use mine too.
Yeah.
Because I like them.
And we're going to get into that. We just have to get through some of the comments and stuff. Marion has 2 of the boxes of crack snacks coming. Sherry says, I'm going to be dressed as a chicken jockey.
What? That's so cute.
Nice. Carrie goes to Discount Tire and gets his tires rotated. Nice.
Oh, nice.
Marie says, I'll be off a little early on Halloween, but that's to get my physical therapy appointment.
Wow.
Yeah, Rockin' Keto Amy says, I need to order salty. What is everyone's favorite flavor? Orange. If there's orange in the house, I want it. But the kids also want it. And so we've been blowing through it, and so we end up...
I also want it.
I want orange first, and then I want mango, then I want
Salted
watermelon,
caramel,
then I
Coco
want...
Loco. I just eat any of them.
The Endless Summer, then I want the Booyah Berry. Anyway.
I want
Evelyn Street
Booyah
is
Berry
under construction,
first.
so they don't get trick-or-treaters at all.
Aw, sad.
Shari's favorite is the caramel, and Gina says hers is the orange. Okay. Elizabeth, on our Facebook support group, reported being worried about blood sugar going up starting Keto Chow. But she was nice enough to report back in that she tried it, and her blood sugar was fine.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Are you going to show everybody your
Yeah,
guys'?
I'm going to show them our costumes. Oh, it's a little bright.
You have to turn down your brightness.
I know.
Or angle it a little bit.
And Max
Anyway.
took the picture, so he didn't get it.
So he wasn't in it?
Yeah, so he didn't get it. Very good. There's our...
Angle it down. Or no, that's perfect. There you go.
So that's me looking sideways. You can't really see my eyes anyway, but...
Yeah.
And then Haley, and then Sam, and then our other 4 kids, 3 minus 3, 3 kids. 3 plus 3 is 6. Our other 3 kids also have matching jerseys, but
Okay.
2 are in Idaho at college, and we won't see them. And then Max was, what was it, Waluigi for that party. So,
Yep.
well, I maybe can get him to talk him into wearing that on
Okay.
Thursday, but maybe not. And it's okay, because if not, Sam and I will twin, and it'll be fine, because we're twins.
Speaking of Halloween parties, we're having a work Halloween party. I signed up to bring jalapeno cheddar brats. And I said, because I'm a brat.
Oh, that's a good
Because
idea.
we're supposed to bring soup. I'm like, I'm not going to bring soup.
That's okay. I'll just bring what you bring.
Okay. Okay, now, a few people had questions on the Facebook support group about adding gelatin to help with digestion.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so how do you do that and
In
what amount?
Keto Chow specifically. So what we've learned, which Christy Davis from the Keto Village is the one who tipped us off on this, if you do 1 teaspoon of gelatin in your Keto Chow that's this size, right, it'll just make it thicker. And it'll also help with like the little bubble
It'll help
tummy.
with digestion, yeah.
Yeah. If you do 2 teaspoons, it's like kind of like a pudding consistency, because it really thickens up. So you can eat it with a spoon. It's really delicious. It's kind of fun. It's different. If you do 3 teaspoons, it's like Jell-O.
It's straight up Jell-O.
And you could just thunk it
Yep.
right out of the container and eat it with a spoon, which is kind of gross sometimes, but also delicious. So depends on what you like.
Okay. Now, the easiest way to add the gelatin is to have Keto Chow going in a blender and just slowly
put
sprinkle it into
You don't have to bloom it. I have never bloomed it, but I'm sure you could if you wanted to.
Yep.
But I've just had no problems with it, just putting it in as I'm mixing.
So Chris Cookie Nashville says, maybe I'll dress up as Chris Bear for Halloween. I love the orange salty and also the berry, also the mango with a splash of almond extract. So if you want to dress up as Chris Bear, you need to wear shorts
Yes.
with gray shoes,
An old T-shirt.
a Keto Chow shirt. And that's it. That's
Yeah. Also,
people
like a
wouldn't be able to tell us
faded
different.
Keto Chow jacket or shirt. So if he wants to dress up like you, he would have to get some nice clothes.
And I'd have to pierce my ears. Marie says, if you make a pink grapefruit
Chris
salty,
has his ears pierced?
I
How
won't
did I
need
not
to
even
buy
notice?
Element. Yeah, he has like 2 or 3 in each ear.
What do you do?
Yeah. Anyway,
Aw.
I'm reading Marie's comment.
I'm sorry, Marie.
If we make a
I'm
pink
thinking about
grapefruit, she won't
earrings.
need to buy Element tea anymore. That's her favorite flavor.
Aw.
It's just like a cut up pink grapefruit sprinkled with
That
salt.
does sound
There you go.
delicious, doesn't it?
Let's see. So Rocking Keto Amy says, I need to thank you. My mom has electrolyte issues, hyponatremia.
Oh my gosh.
Specifically, she ordered some Celtic salt.
Yeah.
I used info from your presentation, and she returned it to Amazon.
Wow, that's awesome.
I actually, I got to talk to one of the guys who does formulation for Redmond.
When, today?
No, at the Pinners conference.
Oh, you didn't tell me this.
One of the things that we talked about at length was Celtic salt. He didn't know what exactly
right.
Celtic salt was.
Right.
And the too long didn't read version is 20% of Celtic salt is water and mud.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well,
And if
and
you-
at
if you
Redmond,
like
they know salt pretty
Yeah.
good.
They do.
They know a lot about salt.
They may not know a lot about their competitors, though.
Well,
yeah.
in some ways, I'm sure they do.
Yeah. Anyway, so one of the things I talked about at my presentation at Ketopalooza was different types of salt.
Yes.
Okay, see, Marie
Sherry.
says gelatin soothes digestion due to its beneficial action
Yep.
on the mucosal lining of the gut.
So really, you should just be eating Jell-O all day.
I guess so. Lisa wants a black cherry.
Ooh, that does sound good, huh?
Exposing Darkness says, if you make a black cherry salty, I won't have to buy it from Perfect Keto.
Perfect.
Okay.
Good idea. Speaking of black cherry, every time I think of black cherry, which is funny because it's been so many years, I think about before we went keto, before we had all our kids,
Okay.
at our old house, my brother spilled black cherry soda on our brand new carpet.
Oh boy.
That was a long time ago. And it was black and it was sticky. Even though it wasn't
Okay.
black, it was purple. But
Well, Joanne's here, and so is Suzanne.
hi, Joanne. Hi, Suzanne.
Okay, are you all ready?
Dun 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 dun
Okay.
dun dun.
Let's go. So,
Oh, we're going down the rabbit hole.
so we're going to go to salty.com, if I can actually spell it right.
Can you? I want to go. Can I
Can
go
you
in the water?
spell?
I want to go with that guy.
Okay, so here we have, if you go to salty and you go to natural flavors.
Okay.
Okay. Natural flavors in salty. We use 0 maltodextrin.
Are you
Just
sharing?
straight up. Yes,
Good
I
job.
am sharing. And I'm going to make it a little bit
Everyone
smaller
look at
because
this.
our heads are off to the side.
Oh, well.
Okay,
They can see my head.
so here's the short version. Now, if you haven't had a chance to, here, I'm actually going to drop this into
In the chat.
the chat.
It's so many words, guys. I'm sorry. It's kind of boring.
also in the description of this video, but there's a couple of points that I want to hit
Right.
on this, because this page did not have nearly as much information yesterday morning as it does now. So a lot of the information is brand new. So in
It's
short,
new to this page. It's not new.
yeah, we don't use natural flavors or artificial flavors to hide ingredients.
Yes.
We strongly believe in being honest and open about what's in our products and wish all companies would take it as seriously as we do.
Seriously.
One thing that's been interesting to me about the renewed scrutiny on natural flavors and specifically maltodextrin is that's something that we've been serious about for a while.
Well, and we've known about it for a while because we've been in the industry, the powdered food industry.
And it's interesting. It's, I guess, I find solace in everybody else getting as worked up about it as I am.
Because we've always been kind of...
Because we've always been a
frustrated
little
about it.
bit funny about it.
And it's funny because for months now, people have been talking about natural flavors and wanting to have natural fruit juice as
Which
the
is
natural
sugar.
flavors, which we don't want that either. So.
Yeah. Okay, so also in short, food manufacturers may not know the specific aromatics
That's what it's called.
that make a flavor, but they absolutely know what is used to make the liquid aromatics into a powder, and that is usually maltodextrin, though we use acacia gum instead. I want to reemphasize that.
Right.
Food manufacturers, and we'll get into why they absolutely know later on, but they don't know the aromatics, but they know what was used to make it a powder, okay? So what are natural flavors? You've got different aromatic compounds. If they exist in nature, it's natural. If it's created in a lab, it's artificial.
Yep.
You can read about that. The big difference is where they originate from, okay?
Right.
So what's the problem with natural flavors? Well, first off, you can't copyright or patent the recipe. There's no way to do that. There's no protection. So if another company knows the recipe for a flavor or for a recipe, they can copy it, okay? So the USDA, FDA, FTC allow food manufacturers, specifically manufacturers of flavorings, to not say what's in the flavorings, but they also then allow food manufacturers, like, say, Keto Chow or
Any food manufacturer.
Nabisco or anything, to put small ingredients under that umbrella of natural flavor. And it's prevalent enough that people with a platform will say to their followers, don't have anything with natural flavors.
But the problem is every manufactured food has natural flavors.
Well, yeah, and then the interesting thing is artificial flavor has the same potential for problem. And it's not any better or worse.
It's just different.
It comes down to, do you trust the people making the product? And in
Right.
case you're wondering,
That's us!
this is the Keto Chow and Salty team, at least all of the ones who came to
play our volleyball game.
No, it was kickball.
That was so much fun. We
It
need
was
to do that again.
insanely
It's too
fun.
cold.
Anyway.
What can we do? Let's do pickleball.
Okay.
Let's do pickleball.
Now, one of the things that's commonly hidden under natural or artificial flavors is maltodextrin. Okay?
Right.
I go into a little bit of details about what maltodextrin is.
So many words. So many words.
Now, one thing that I want to emphasize is a healthy person may have no reaction at all to extremely large amounts of maltodextrin. But
Or small amounts of maltodextrin.
Yeah, but people who are trying to manage their insulin will typically avoid it at all costs. And there is some anecdotal evidence that people with allergies to corn may react to maltodextrin from corn.
Right.
And other people react to maltodextrin from any source.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's corn or GMO or tapioca. These people do not do well with maltodextrin. Okay? I believe in letting people know when there's something they're going to have a problem with.
Which is why we have sucralose really loud on the bottom of the thing.
We do.
Because we want people to know if there's something they don't like, it's going to be this, and you're going to see it.
Yeah, now here's another fun thing. Maltodextrin actually turns into glucose when it hits your saliva. You have enzymes in your saliva that break up maltodextrin.
Just like bread.
Yeah, which is why if you leave bread in your mouth long enough, it turns into glucose. Anyway, so the FDA considers maltodextrin to not be a sugar.
Yeah.
So it can be included on foods labeled as sugar-free.
Because it's
Your
not
body
technically a sugar.
doesn't care. It turns it into sugar. Now, we work really hard to make sure there's no maltodextrin in any of our products, okay? Which is difficult because most manufacturing companies don't even know that there's any alternative to maltodextrin. They just assume that maltodextrin is what you use. But we use acacia gum instead. And, well, the food industry doesn't like to use anything besides maltodextrin unless you stomp your feet and throw a fit like a petulant child.
Yes, they are set up to use acacia gum, but they use it a lot less. It's more expensive. And they have to clean the machines thoroughly. I mean, I guess they have to clean the machines thoroughly between things anyway. But, it's difficult. The other thing is whenever we request to get like flavoring and stuff, they automatically go to make it the way they're used to making it. And so they have to pay attention to the fact that we've asked for it to be the sugar-free version. And then half the time they send it to us and it's wrong anyway. So even when we specifically...
We're going to show you that.
Oh, we are?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We have an example of one of the flavors that they sent to us in error and what it looks like on the nutrition sheet. Like, this is going to get good, okay? So
I apparently am late to the party.
That's okay. Now, because using anything besides maltodextrin is such a big deal, companies that use something else are generally going to be really overt about it.
Like us.
You are going to know that they don't use maltodextrin because it's a big deal. Because
nobody knows that they're even using it. And I told you guys this in 2017. I went around to every single manufacturer and asked them what their MCT oil was dried on. Was powdered on, and nobody knew. Not even one company knew. And they were all keto companies.
Keto. So if a powdered dry product is flavored and doesn't declare that they don't use maltodextrin, it is reasonable to assume they use maltodextrin.
Yep.
Okay?
So, something else to consider. So often, the maltodextrin amount is so little, it might not raise your blood glucose. So, if you're going to use something, just use it knowing that it could be a problem or not a problem. Don't beat yourself up. Don't tell yourself you're horrible if you use something and then you find out later that it has something in it you don't like. If you notice you don't feel good when you use it, that's a dead giveaway. You shouldn't use it.
And to be clear, the issue with maltodextrin is not its effect on blood glucose in healthy individuals. There's been a lot of talk about, well, the amount is so small. Well, okay, but it would be nice to tell people. I think that's the biggest problem. And my biggest problem is these companies know. Because we know what's in our stuff. And they have to know what's in their stuff as well. But we're going to get into...
Okay, you keep talking.
Yeah.
And I'll stop interrupting.
No, you don't. No, everybody likes what you're saying. Okay, so what exactly is in the flavorings that we use, okay? This is where it gets a little bit difficult.
This is the hairy part.
Yeah. So we can tell you what's not in it. Well, no maltodextrin, but it's hard to tell you what is. So the exact specific aromatic components in a flavor is considered a closely held trade secret.
Right.
That applies to flavors made from ingredients that occur naturally and flavors made from ingredients that are synthesized in a lab. Okay, we talked about this before, but what we can do is if you have a concern about an allergen,
right,
it's actually fairly simple for us to go to the flavor manufacturer and say, look, this person is allergic to
Do you
pistachios.
have cinnamon?
Yeah, it is cinnamon, pineapple,
Actual
coconut.
cinnamon.
Does it have this allergen? And they will give us a yes or a no. What they won't give us is the big laundry list. But here's the problem with that. Okay? The specific aromatic compounds in the flavor, it's not actually helpful to know what those are. Okay?
Because you don't know what they are.
Okay, this is from an all-natural strawberry, okay? And let's pop this up. This is the ingredients in a strawberry. These are the chemicals in a strawberry. 90% of it's water. You got 4.9% that's sugars.
Which is fructose.
Got some fatty acids,
Glucose,
amino acids.
Sucrose.
Ooh, look at those preservatives
Fiber.
and colors. And then all of this is
That
flavors.
strawberry is from Canada.
It might be. These are the names, the chemical names of the flavors that occur naturally in a strawberry.
And it's because someone took the time to break it down and name all those things.
Yeah, well, and it's just a description of, it's a dimethyl methoxyfuran. Okay,
Something.
I can't even pronounce that, right?
Something.
A lot of people will say, well, don't eat anything you can't pronounce. Well,
You can pronounce strawberry.
things have names.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that they're necessarily bad. And for that matter, eggs have acetone and formaldehyde. Like if you get in here, color flavorings, you got formaldehyde, acetone.
They're the last two ingredients?
Yeah, well, cabbage contains pesticides and known carcinogens. Okay?
Cabbage, wow.
Now,
I kind of like cabbage.
we're not saying you shouldn't care what's in products.
Definitely not.
Okay? Because
we
like,
care a lot.
see, maltodextrin. We care a lot about that. What we're saying is knowing the list of the aromatics and the flavor is helpful for very specific things. If you have a known allergy, knowing that that allergy is or isn't in a product is vital. And we can help you with that. We can get definitive answers whether or not it's in
So please reach out to our customer service
A
anytime.
flavor manufacturer or a chemist could use the list of ingredients in the flavor to copy it and clone a product's flavor. And I can't think of a third thing. If you can think of a third thing that knowing the specific aromatics would be useful, I would genuinely like to know, because I'd like to update this list. Now, let's go for a deep dive. Could a product manufacturer not know they have maltodextrin?
Yes and no.
Well, with almost absolute certainty, I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Because we were in the business for a while before we learned about the flavoring
Where we
company.
learn to look. Yes.
Yeah.
So how about a competent manufacturer? Okay. Now
we were not competent for a minute.
You are correct. Now we work with multiple flavor manufacturers, and all of them provide detailed information regarding the flavor carrier and the drying agent. That information is upfront, bold, center. Okay. It's typically going to be maltodextrin, dextrose, things like that.
Dextrin.
And really,
It is under a lot of different names.
yeah, the thing that we get from the ingredient supplier, we have everything except for the aromatic compounds.
Yeah, which is the smallest amount.
Yeah.
And it's what is
That's
their
their protected
proprietary protected subject. Did we already say this? You can't copyright a recipe?
Yes, we did.
And I think that's the reason
you made
why.
sure to point that out to me.
Yeah, that's the reason why they want to keep it a secret. Otherwise, everybody can go just copy it. And the thing is, there's reverse engineering of things, so anyone can go copy anything nowadays. But it makes it more difficult to do that.
But they're going to have information about total carbohydrates, dietary fiber, sugars, things like that.
Yeah.
And when you look at that, it's really easy to say, wow, how much total carbohydrates are there? How much fiber is there? Everything else is sugar. It's that simple, actually.
Right.
Now, these nutritional analysis documents are nearly always for 100 grams.
Right.
So everything becomes a percentage.
And that's something to keep in mind because a serving size is not typically 100
Oh, no,
grams.
it's like
So
1
you'll
gram.
see it and be like, oh, that's a lot. Just like when we looked at 100 grams of heavy cream powder and it was a lot. Whereas when you look at the serving size, it says 0. So Yeah. So you've got it written down here for us.
Yeah, so for
to see?
instance, if it's 85%, the flavoring is 85% total carbohydrates,
Okay.
then 1,000 milligrams would be 850 milligrams of maltodextrin.
Right.
Or 600 milligrams would then be 510 milligrams of maltodextrin,
Right.
etc. Okay, so here are some
cetera,
real
et cetera.
world examples, okay?
Wah, wah.
This is information that we get from our flavor manufacturers, and these are the actual data sheets for 2 of the flavors that we use. So, here's
That's a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff. The important stuff is, okay, so it's 100 grams,
Okay.
150 calories, 72.99 total carbohydrates.
This is in a salty packet?
I'm not saying.
Okay.
Actually, yes, it is. This is for salty. This is
Okay.
one of the flavors we use for salty. But so 72.99 grams is total fiber.
Okay.
Well, 9/8. You've got a tiny bit of fat, tiny bit of saturated fat, some potassium, iron, calcium. It's pretty detailed, the information that we
Yeah,
have.
because even the vitamin D and vitamin C.
Okay? And then this is the ingredient disclosure that they provide to us. Okay? You're going to note that oh my gosh, there we go. The flavor carrier is listed. It will be listed.
Where? Gum Arabic?
Ingredient statement.
Okay.
Gum arabic, natural flavors, and rosemary extract
What?
as an antioxidant.
Rosemary. And Steve actually likes it. Okay, gum Arabic is acacia gum.
Yes.
It's acacia gum fiber. It's acacia gum. It's gum Arabic. It's Arabic gum. Like those are all the same names. Just like maltodextrin has multiple names.
And it's used as an antioxidant. It falls under the umbrella of natural flavors.
Right.
Now, importantly, all ingredients used in this product are manufactured under the regulations and guidelines of the Food and Drug Administration, FD&C Act, and or FEMA, generally regarded as safe list. Generally regarded as safe is a legal term in food manufacturing. A lot of times people hear generally. Oh, it's generally. Well, okay, it's a legal term.
That's just what they call it.
It means basically that this thing, you can use as much of it in food manufacturing as you want because it's on the list of this is stuff that you can use. Sugar's on that list. But there are other things that you can't use as much as you want. You have to only use so much.
Right, like bugs.
Yeah. Anyway, so this statement right here means all of the stuff is allowed by the U.S. government.
Yep.
So we don't have to tell you what it is because it's on the list, and you don't have to tell anyone what it is because it's also on the list, but it's on the list. But the important thing that I'm trying to make, the
Right.
point, is that we know what the flavor carrier is for this flavor, okay?
Right.
Here's another flavor, okay? So this is 100 grams of product. It's 78.46 grams of carbohydrates, 78.46 grams of dietary fiber. It's got some protein, it's got potassium, it's got calcium, all that stuff, okay? And here's the ingredient list for that flavor. Arabic gum, natural and artificial flavors.
Right.
This is actually for a flavor of Keto Chow.
Okay.
And all ingredients are approved for use in the regulation of on the FEMA
blah.
grant. So all of these, and it also tells us contains allergens.
None. Because no one's allergic to anything
Well,
that could be in.
it's not
It's
on
fine.
the
It's
normal
fine.
allergens list.
It's fine.
In fact, if I'm not mistaken, this particular one is our raspberry cheesecake flavor.
Well, it's funny that it's 78.46 carbohydrate.
Yeah, some of the 100 grams is water.
Oh.
Anyhow, so now what do normal flavors look like? Most food manufacturers are going to be getting a nutrition statement from their ingredient supplier that looks like this. Now,
Right.
this is not a flavor that we use. This is the first version of raspberry cheesecake we ever got.
That had the non-sugar-free
And I
powder.
looked at it and I went, no.
That's not right.
Guys. And they came back and they sent us the new one that doesn't have maltodextrin or sugar
Okay,
in
let's
it.
see it. Let's see it. Let's see it.
Total carbohydrates, 77.
Which is
Total sugar, 53. Added sugar, 50. Dietary fiber, 0.
So I guess I'm still confused. If this
Okay.
is total carbohydrate was 78 in the top one, that feels like it has 78 carbs in it
78 total carbohydrates.
per 100 grams.
And all 78 of those are fiber. All 78 of those are acacia gum, because acacia gum is a fiber and has to be declared as a dietary fiber, which is why on Salty, which is why on Keto Chow, you will see acacia gum fiber. Even if we didn't use acacia gum in the mix of Keto Chow, it would still be on the nutrition label because of it's part of the flavor.
Okay, but I guess what I'm confused with is I feel like I'm seeing 77 grams of carbohydrates, and that sounds bad. But you're talking about a flavoring, and how much flavoring would you actually use of that? You wouldn't use even close to 100 grams,
So
right?
once again, so in this example, all 78 grams of this 100 grams
Is acacia gum fiber.
gum.
Yes,
And if we're using 1 gram,
right.
it's 0.78 grams.
And so I think that is why it's confusing to me, because even though I know it's 100 grams, I see 78 carbs and I freak out in my brain.
Okay.
So I just wanted to make everybody aware that
Yeah.
it's different than maybe what it seems in our brains.
And another way to think of it is 78% of however much flavor we're using is carbohydrate. Not 78 grams, 78% of
the
how
flavoring.
much. So if we're using...
Which is still like 1 gram. It's very small.
Like if we're using 1 gram of flavoring in Keto Chow, it'd be 0.78. If we're using half a gram of flavoring in Salty, then it's 0.35.
So the thing is, with this flavoring, if you used even close to 100 grams, it would be unpalatable.
Yeah, you wouldn't
be able to eat it because it would be gross.
The point of what I'm showing
thank
here...
You.
Yeah,
thank
that's fine.
For backing up for me.
The point of what I'm showing here is this is the sort of information
Yes.
that all food manufacturers would be getting from their ingredient suppliers.
So it's broken out. Everything is broken out.
There is no conceivable way that if I was using this ingredient, that I would not be able to say...
There's no sugar.
I could not say it was no sugar.
Because you know.
Even if it's just that the ingredient has it, I would absolutely know, because here's the ingredient statement.
Oh, okay.
Dextrose, cornstarch, natural and artificial flavor, silicon dioxide, maltodextrin, propylene glycol, modified cornstarch, corn syrup solids, and soy lecithin.
And that's in all the flavors that we got pre-knowledge of this.
Yeah, I just asked for a flavor,
and then they gave
that
it to
is
us.
what they gave us. That was the default.
Yeah.
And here's the issue that many people have with the current labeling laws. All of these ingredients here, cornstarch, corn syrup, could be put on the label as natural and artificial flavors.
And because they're under a certain percentage, they just are.
Yep. It would be completely legal and
it's
technically
encouraged.
ethical.
It's encouraged to do that because it is confusing to have those ingredients on at the very bottom of the label.
Yep. And again, I want to make the point that it's not us having this sort of information is not unique to our company.
No, every manufacturer would get that.
They all get it. What's unique to our company is we say, no, we can't use maltodextrin. It has to be sugar-free. You must only use acacia gum.
Yeah.
So if it sucks, why do people use it?
Because it doesn't suck.
Well,
for mixing reasons.
Yeah,
the thing is,
works better.
It's sticky. It works. It flows well. Like, we have had serious problems with our stuff flowing through the machine to package it
because we don't use maltodextrin.
It's a pain in the butt.
Yep.
And everybody wants you to add a flow agent, and maltodextrin is one of those things. So it works good. That's why they like to use it.
Also, they don't think the market knows or cares about maltodextrin.
And in some ways they don't, because it wasn't until we got into keto that we cared about any of this.
Some consider tapioca maltodextrin to be so much better than corn maltodextrin. But guess what? It's still maltodextrin.
Right.
Okay? And some companies just have an idea of what they want. They don't know how to get started. This was kind of us in the beginning.
Yeah.
And so they turn to another company to do the formulation, which leads us to...
Which is a lot of people.
Most places that do the actual mixing have never used anything but flavors that use maltodextrin.
They would not have any idea.
It doesn't even occur to them. So is that their fault?
You would
Not
say,
really.
I don't want sugar in this product, and they would still use that flavoring and then not put sugar in the product.
Because to
and they
them,
would be feeling like you're having a sugar-free product.
To them, this does not
sugar
constitute sugar. This constitutes flavor.
Yep.
Okay. Now, certificates of analysis and lot variations. I'm not going to get too much into this because
I don't know.
really
it looks
goes
like
into
you've
the
gotten
weeds.
into it a lot already.
Well, on this live stream, suffice it to say, every time we get a new batch of product, and there is a new ingredient in a new batch of product, it comes with a certificate of analysis by default. Our co-manufacturer, the people who do the packaging, will not accept an ingredient if it doesn't
have a certificate of analysis. Yeah.
This isn't something like special or unique that we're doing. All companies do this. So if a company tells you that they're testing every lot and that's why they're so much better,
every company
they
tests
all do it.
every
They actually
lot,
have to.
and that's why they're all so much better.
Yep. Now, some only allow a small deviation. The FDA actually allows a 10% deviation. But anyway, these are the different ingredients that we have in salty. This is how much of stuff is in each of those ingredients. Potassium's actually on there multiple times. But anyway, in conclusion, if you have questions about our flavors or products, ask us. We're super passionate about giving people the information we can help to help them make informed decisions about their health. And if you're using a screen reader, there's a text version of that. So,
guys, that was so boring.
Rabbit hole. Wow. I only got 1 point because I said Chris gets a point every time Miriam says boring.
I only said it like 3 times.
Okay.
It was before you started and after you finished.
There you go. Flavorings is a hot
boring,
topic. Yeah.
But kind of boring.
And again, I want to emphasize this. As a product manufacturer, I don't accept the excuse from any other product manufacturers that they don't know if there's maltodextrin in their product. Because they have the same information about their products that we have about our products. And we absolutely know. And here's a fun thing. So I'm not going to show this on video, but I have a friend who's working on demonstrating this on video.
Okay.
That third that third flavor that we showed that had all the sugar in it, I actually mixed some of that up in water, that exact flavor today. And then I mixed some of the raspberry cheesecake that we normally use. And there's a test that you can do that demonstrates clearly whether or not something has maltodextrin.
Okay.
And the one that had maltodextrin, like, lit up. Like, you could tell right away. It's really cool. I'm hoping, I think he's going to try and publish it this Thursday.
Or she.
They. It's a he. Anyway, but, and we also tested some other products that claim to not have maltodextrin, and they do.
Yeah.
So, it's really interesting. Yeah.
Let's go to the comments, sir.
Let's go to the comments. Okay.
See how many people say you're boring.
So boring. Anyway, let's see. Exchange Student says, did you do independent testing, or are we just trusting your flavoring provider? So I did some testing myself.
Yeah, we've done testing.
The thing is,
the manufacturer does most of the testing.
Yeah, our flavor provider has always been on the up and up with us, and as demonstrated today, when I did that test for maltodextrin, it did not have maltodextrin.
Yeah.
So
you can tell Because
Yeah.
the packaging looks different. They don't repackage it weirdly. They don't try to trick you into taking it.
Yep.
They want to give you what you want, and they want you to pay for it too. So if you want sugar free, yeah, it's a pain in the butt, but they're happy to charge for it.
Yep.
So it's fine.
Cindy says that all powdered flavors, what if it's labeled sugar-free? So I'm going to repeat what I said. If it's something powdered and it has flavor added to it,
Yep. If it says no added flavor.
and it doesn't say that it has no maltodextrin, it is a reasonable assumption that it has maltodextrin. Whether that's a concern to you or not is a different story, but I want you to be aware. If it doesn't say no maltodextrin and it has flavor and it's a powder, it likely has sugar in it. It likely has maltodextrin.
Okay.
It may not be a lot. Terry says, "What
it typically isn't a lot.
Yeah, when powdered egg whites say just egg whites, does it actually have it too?"
If it has egg whites with flavoring, then it could. But if it just says egg whites, then it should just be egg whites.
Yeah, and maybe we should explain what the maltodextrin does. I don't think I did that a very good job. So you've got those aromatic compounds. They're a liquid.
Right.
You have to make them into a powder somehow. And so you have a machine where it sprays the stuff into a heated chamber with something powdery for it to stick to.
Right.
That's the substrate. And so if you have a liquid and you're flavoring a liquid, you don't have to do that. But if you're taking a liquid flavor and you're turning it into a powder, you have to powder it somehow. Now, some companies, and I think like True Lemon and True Lime, they're literally taking the lime juice and the lemon juice and just crystallizing it.
Yeah, and so it's like that. It's like almost like salt crystals.
Yeah, I don't know if those have maltodextrin or not.
Some do and some don't.
I think the orange one does.
The orange one does. The grapefruit does.
Yeah, but I think the lemon and the lime, I think those might actually
But
be just
they're
crystallized.
also having it marked on the package.
And they're also going to have sugars. So in the stuff. Like Exposing Darkness says, do you get nutrition information from the natural flavor manufacturers? Yes. Yep. All flavor manufacturers are, as far as I'm aware, all the ones that we've dealt with provide the level of detail about the ingredients that I just showed.
Yeah.
And so it's not reasonable to say we didn't know because it's there. Now it's possible, this is something else. It's possible that some of the people who are involved in the creation of a product and are not involved in the day-to-day like actual production formulation.
Yeah, and I think that's why anyone could not know, because they're not into the formulation.
So there is a big to-do that, okay, I'll just say it, LMNT. One of the co-founders was like, hey, we don't use maltodextrin. Everyone's like, yeah, you totally do. I think he genuinely thought that they didn't have it.
Yeah.
Because I think when he came up with the formula, there wasn't any. But when it got into production, it was added because that's just what you do.
A flavoring. It's in the flavoring. It's not that you add it to it.
Yeah,
it's part of the flavoring.
I don't think it was done maliciously. And I really don't think that for most healthy individuals, which most of the people who are concerned about this are not, I don't think that a healthy individual is going to see a blood sugar change from 1,000 milligrams of maltodextrin.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that we're not maybe realizing is, yes, it's 200 to 550 milligrams, but that's still a small amount. It sounds like a lot amount. I still don't want to, have that in our product, for sure. But it's still, I think people don't really understand how small an amount that actually is.
Yeah. So it's half of a gram. It's a tenth of a nickel. Because a nickel's 5 grams.
It's like a half of a carb.
Yeah. Now, technically, it should be rounded up to 1 gram.
Yeah, just like heavy cream.
Yep. So anyway, Marie says, I remember asking about the pistachio flavor years ago because my son, who was allergic to most nuts. There you go.
Yep.
Mike says, yeah, it's like how the magicians won't tell you how to do their tricks.
True that.
Melissa says, I was interested to see a powdered MCT oil that apparently uses acacia fiber to dry the
There
oil
you
on.
go.
I haven't purchased any, but they have been debating about it. Yeah, we actually have a company that they supply our acacia gum fiber, and they do drying of MCT oil
Yes.
on acacia gum, but we're like, we don't want to put...
Yep.
We want to have the fat component for Keto Chow completely decoupled, so you can add as much as you want or
Yes.
not.
Yes.
So if
But
you
it's
don't
cool,
want to
right?
use,
So cool. Ooh,
S-Rob is headed to Utah really soon.
Yes.
Hoping to stop
Will
by the Keto
you
Chow
let us know before you
warehouse.
come so we can make sure we don't have a meeting when you come? Because we want to visit you.
Mike says methyl, ethyl, polyethyl, bomethyl, phi-pho-fethyl.
Ethel.
Daniela wants to know, is it a good idea to use electrolytes during or after dialysis? I couldn't answer that question.
I don't know.
I would actually recommend you talk to your
Nephrologist.
nephrologist about that, because it depends.
I also know that people that are in kidney failure can't have that much potassium. So you can probably have the fasting drops because it's mostly just salt.
Now, Rush points out an interesting thing, that
Okay.
you can tell what components are in something using a mass spectrometer.
Oh,
That will tell you the carbon composition and things like that. I don't know that it will necessarily tell you the chemical composition, the different molecules.
we have to get one now so we can try it.
No, I don't have enough
Come
liquid
on, Rush.
nitrogen for that.
Let's go.
But you are right that they can, most good flavor houses, you give them a flavor and they will say, yeah, we can clone that. And they reverse engineer it. They just poke at it until they get what something that tastes the same. Let's see.
Oh,
A couple
Shari
people
says
going
she's
this
winding
bad.
my day down. You know what? I understand. When you start talking about
I
this stuff,
know.
it puts me to sleep too.
Chris says it's a natural flavor masterclass.
Nerd.
I'm so funny.
And Mike says the generally regarded as safe list is full of stuff that was just assumed safe because your grandparents used it. You are correct.
That's true.
Yep. Aaron says the amount of bugs allowed in food is a different FDA document. Food defect levels handbook.
Yes.
Okay, so Exposing Darkness wants to know where the sugar is coming from. So on the on that one, it's coming from like the corn syrup solids.
Yes.
The
On the one
dextrin.
that we don't use. We should probably highlight that and make it more clear that this is not what we usually use.
Well, I said it right above it.
I know, but say it all the way around it.
Mike
Make
says,
it more obvious.
and this is a good point. They literally label stuff as sugar-free that is sweetened with corn syrup.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
Because unless it's actually labeled sugar, people don't think it's sugar. Because maltodextrin is sugar. All of those things are sugar. Every single one of those ingredients in that second one. Corn solids, corn syrups,
Those are all
dextrose, dextrin.
Dextrin is totally a sugar. Jennifer Lucas wants to know if can I get a continuing education credit? Yeah. And the
Yes.
certificate of graduation, there you go. Deborah wants to know, are the labeling regulations different outside of the States? Yes.
Yes.
In the European Union. In fact,
You guys are going to die.
well, no, just right now, this is something, I don't know what you're talking about, but we are dealing with right now trying to import Keto Chow and Salty into the European Union. There's a guy who's working on it. And one of the things we have to do is we have to get all of the documents that I was just talking about. He has to provide those in a folder to the European Union along with a statement from
So much stuff,
the
guys.
from the flavor manufacturer saying that it's all of the stuff that is in there is on the EU
Yep.
allowed
Allowed
list.
list.
It's crazy. Anyway,
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. But that's not what I was going to say.
what were you gonna say?
They make Nabisco, Kraft, Oreo, make different packaging with different ingredients for different countries that are better for you. USA gets the crappiest, cheapest stuff.
I think I saw that from a post from Dr. Barry.
Well, I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. I mean, I don't think it's stupid. I think it's stupid that we don't get the stuff that's better.
Yep. Amy says that was awesome. Cindy says the fact that non-diabetics can get glucose monitors, yes, will change the dynamics. I used a different electrolyte before salty came out. No CGM. When I got my CGM, I tested salty and had no reaction.
Woo!
And now, one thing that Element keeps on saying is that the amount of maltodextrin that's in their product will not show up on a CGM, so it is of no concern. They are correct that the amount of maltodextrin that we're talking about will not typically impact someone's blood sugar.
Because you had a CGM on a couple weeks ago and had
don't forget
LMNT.
you have a hot mic, by the way.
Yeah, I'm right here. I'm still talking to you.
Anyway, but again, that's not necessarily the thing that people are going on about with the natural flavors.
Well, one thing that Dr. Boz was saying was that may be the case, but that doesn't mean that your insulin's not going up.
Yep.
And these are things that are not completely tested, right? So.
Yep. And Rush knows exactly what I'm talking about. Add iodine. You're correct.
Rush, you're amazing. You're hired. Can you bring your, whatever that thing is called, mass spectrometer,
there
when
you
you
go.
come to work tomorrow?
Cindy says, I was not surprised to hear that there was maltodextrin in the other electrolytes. And actually, the last couple days, I've been surreptitiously going around and asking other electrolyte manufacturers.
Oh, he's a crazy person.
What are you using? And most of them will just tell me it's a proprietary process.
Yeah.
We won't tell you what our carrier is.
Because they can do that.
They can. Legally, they're allowed to do that.
And
Anyway.
it's maybe not even smart for us to say what ours are all the time. I'm just saying.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm not saying that it's not smart. I'm just saying that we've always said everything out loud.
Why did we make salty?
Because we wanted to.
No, like what? Do you remember?
Because I wanted a smaller amount in my cup. That's why.
Miriam wanted to be able to use a single packet for her thing.
For Reliant Element Tea, I always used either twice as big of a cup for one or just a half of the packet.
Okay, so that's reason number one.
Yeah.
Reason number two. We started the process to create salty in like August of 2022.
And guess what? They tried to offer us sugar
They actually did.
flavoring. And we're like, no, we know this. We know this thing. Hold on. You need to give us sugar-free. And they're like, what? Wait, what? This is not
Before
right.
we went down the road of trying to create salty, we actually tried to convince several other electrolyte companies to reformulate their flavoring to not have maltodextrin.
You did that.
I gave them so much information. Like I even gave them the name of our flavor manufacturer.
I also gave them
Because
information.
I don't care if they switch to no maltodextrin. I would love them to switch to no maltodextrin. I think it'd be great.
No, we do care because we
Okay,
like
I do
them.
care. Yes.
We want them to do it. You don't care if they are a competitor and have gooder ingredients. in
Yeah,
us.
they can have gooder ingredients. And also
Oh my
one thing
gosh.
that has been really interesting to us over the last week is the increase in comments on salty ads asking what's in our natural flavors and do we use maltodextrin. It's like, whoa,
Which we've said
we're
that a lot.
We're the no maltodextrin guys.
Yeah.
Let's go. So it actually, it's very interesting to me how much has changed in the last week. John says, is that the iodine test to find out if maltodextrin is a process. That's how we do it for our supplements. When you add the iodine, it will turn dark. So
Wow, so John knows too.
John knows too. So here's
We just found that out.
the reason why I even found that out is somebody asked about our stevia.
Oh, yeah.
Because our flavoring is done with acacia gum. They're like, what does your stevia use maltodextrin? And I was like,
No, but I sure hope it doesn't.
and it was an existential crisis that actually kept me up for a night.
Oh, that's why you haven't been sleeping, huh?
And I ordered the iodine to test and make sure.
And it's good.
Like to make sure. Because the information that we have from the manufacturers says
It says it's good.
says that it's just powdered stevia, that it doesn't use
And it's
maltodextrin.
specifically that red whatever.
Yeah. So I mixed up a bunch of it, got it on my hands, and my hands have tasted like candy all day. It's really gross. Anyway, but I added iodine to it, and it just stayed that funny orange color.
Yeah.
But if you add iodine to it and it turns blue or purple, you know right away that it has maltodextrin in it.
Yeah, it's evil.
Wendy is here, or
Wendy,
it might be
hi.
Harry.
Harry, hi.
I
We
hope,
miss you guys.
Yeah.
I hope Wendy's doing good and resting and moving her
Marie
knees.
says the mixed flavor ones from True Lemon do. Oh, interesting. The lemon
Oh,
doesn't.
Yeah. There we go.
Cindy says, why don't we just dehydrate the food and then turn it into powder? You can do that, but here's the thing.
It doesn't last as long
Yeah, it doesn't last as long. And
for
it's,
manufacturing.
Anyway.
That's what's so great about cooking in your home. You can have it however you want. You can have any way you want. You can
Yep.
eat it. It'll last a few days or even longer in your fridge. But anything that's manufactured has to last a long time. And
Yeah.
so they've come up with these different tricks and ways that things will last long, things that will not pack
Shelf
and
stable
like
and all that.
work together. And
Chris says, I've asked several other companies support teams about maltodextrin. They say they have none, but when pushed for what they use, they say, it's natural flavor. You don't need fibers or gums.
yeah.
Right. Here's another thing.
Hey, Crystal.
If you had the amount of flavor necessary to flavor an electrolyte product, such as salty, for example,
Yeah.
and you were only using 4 milligrams of flavor carrier, it would not be a powder, it would be an oily paste.
It would be a sludge.
So when I hear that something is only 4 milligrams, I'm like, no.
And the thing is, it's still relative. Like,
Yeah.
everybody doesn't know what 4 milligrams is. Like,
Yeah.
like you think about 4 grams, and it's like that's this much.
Yeah.
You know, so unless you are weighing things by grams, it's difficult to be able to understand that.
Yep. Loving on Keto has a great question. When you ask them to reverse engineer a flavor for you, can you request specific ingredients such as maltodextrin to be omitted? You can.
Yeah. And we haven't ever reverse engineered anything. We just have asked for specific flavors, and we ask for no maltodextrin.
And that's really the key. You have to know.
And it's only because we know it's in there.
ask.
Yeah.
Marie points out maltitol is a big one. It's
Yes,
sugar-free.
maltitol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Cynthia says, I've seen things labeled keto with cane sugar
Yep.
or with coconut sugar. Yeah.
Also sugar. Yep.
Yep. Let's see. Loving on Keto says it's amazing on how many bad substances are allowed in the U.S. foods that are not allowed in
Yeah.
other countries. Yeah, you're
Which
right.
is why it's still best to shop the outside of the aisles. Like,
Oh.
the only reason why you need to go to the middle of the grocery store is to get pickles or olives. Everything else is on the outside.
Mike says, I watched a YouTube video the other day about ice cream label in the UK. It's required to have half the fat as the U.S., but it can be canola oil in their ice cream and 0% dairy. Wow,
See, I didn't know that.
Marie
No,
says, I
thank
used
you.
to have to take as much insulin for something with maltitol as for regular sugar.
Right.
And Crystal Light 2 times a day stalling me out. Now,
Right.
that's the interesting thing. The powdered drink mixes that you
Yes.
get from like Walmart,
Yeah, they have the maltodextrin in it. too.
maltodextrin is the very first flavor.
But the liquid ones don't. I
They
think a
don't.
lot of
You're
them
right.
use sucralose as the sweetener.
yeah.
So
Yeah, well, because you don't need the maltodextrin because it's already a liquid and you've got water.
so it's just liquid and liquid.
Oh, it's Wendy and Harry.
Aww,
And I'm doing great. Thank you.
I'm so happy.
Loving Akio says, how much iodine do you need to use in one serving of product in order to make it turn? Is it malted? So in the tests I did, it was like 2 drops.
And he used a cup this big,
Yep.
a little tiny cup.
I actually mixed.
But he tested it today only a couple of times, so it's not like proven testing.
Yeah. I actually found it worked better if I didn't mix it up afterwards. I just dropped it
in
in.
and leave it.
Uh-huh.
It was super interesting.
Well, it was interesting
I could not
because
believe it.
the salty just stayed orange and the other one just went blue. But after a while, the blue went away and it was clear, which was really interesting. So I don't
Yeah.
know if that was the citric acid working
Yeah,
away at the
could be.
iodine. I don't know. But eventually it went clear.
My girl Andrea's here. Hi, Andrea.
What?
I miss you. How are you?
Said if they'd listened, they'd gain some of their business back.
Oh.
Maybe. Aaron says, maybe a dumb question, but why does natural flavoring need to be powdered at all? Can't it be used in liquid form? It absolutely can. It absolutely can. But if you are taking something that is, say, a powder, you have to disperse the flavoring throughout it.
Yeah.
But if you're using, say, for instance, Coca-Cola,
Yes.
when they are flavoring their sodas, they don't use maltodextrin because it's already
a
liquid.
liquid.
Yep. Indeed. Like, so you change things, this natural flavoring is a big rabbit hole. I don't want to think what sparkling water contains for its delicious flavor.
I'm so over it.
Lisa
Sparkling
says,
water should not.
Yep.
But you just got to read the label. If it says anything other than water and carbon dioxide. No, carbon dioxide.
Lisa says, does maltodextrin add carbs? Yes.
Yes.
And if yes, how many carbs? It's a 1-to-1. So
Yep.
1,000 milligrams is 1 gram of carbohydrates.
Yep.
Now, do liquid electrolytes also use maltodextrin?
Well, that'll depend on who it is.
Yeah.
But the ones that we make do not, because they were already a liquid anyway, and they wouldn't need a carrier to flavor them because they're also unflavored.
Or another word to say it, if it has always been a liquid,
then it'll continue to be a liquid.
Made from a powder into a liquid, it probably never needed maltodextrin
in the first
as
place.
a flavoring. And even if it was taken from a powder into a liquid,
because it's a carrier. Not. It's a carrier. That's the thing that is weird to wrap your brain around. Is it just carries the flavor?
Yeah. So, and again, stuff that's in a liquid form, probably, my guess, doesn't have maltodextrin in the flavorings. It may have it elsewhere. Stuff that is powdered, that has flavoring, that doesn't loudly and proudly proclaim it doesn't use maltodextrin, it's reasonable to assume that it does. Mm-hmm. And like Fritz Sater says, I don't think the new LMNT in a can has maltodextrin. You're correct.
Because it's a liquid.
Because it's a liquid. There was no need to do it.
Why are you not drinking your dinner?
Because I'm talking like a crazy person. John says, Miriam shopping outside
delicious.
Aisles, shopping the outside aisles used to be a good rule to follow. Unfortunately, here in Louisiana, the grocery store have caught on. They put the beer on the outside of the store now.
Sneaky pants!
That's funny. Norma says we have to keep the pharmaceutical companies making money on the crap food the FDA allows. One last thing I wanted to point out. This was
boring?
No. Okay. This is actually from the conversation I had with the guy who works for Redmond Relight.
Right.
He came up at this show and he's like, "Did you guys start this?"
Oh, we didn't try to.
And I said, "No. We did not." The whole controversy about LMNT and maltodextrin, we didn't start it. The blog post that LMNT put up was put up in July. Dustin from Keto Simple posted a video about it a month ago.
He let us know.
Joe and Rachel posted a video about it some time ago as well. We were at a keto convention, a symposium, and standing in front of the booth was Dr. Tro.
Right.
And he got a message from one of his staff. I think they were talking about LMNT, and he got a message from his staff that said, "Well, that has maltodextrin." And he's like, "No, it doesn't." He said, "Yeah, it does. Here's this blog post."
Yeah.
And Dr. Tro was flabbergasted.
His New York came out.
And he was like, he was literally standing there in front of me as this was happening.
Cute.
And he was like, "Do you guys use maltodextrin?" I said, "No, we do not use maltodextrin." He's like, "You're sure you don't use maltodextrin?" I said, "Yeah, we do not use maltodextrin. That was one of the founding principles of our company.
Salty.
It's like one of our big deals that we don't use maltodextrin." He's like, so he took a picture with me and said, "I'm going to shout you guys out because I like to support companies." And dropped an F-bomb in his tweet. And anyway, so we didn't start this. This wasn't a marketing effort by us.
Definitely not. Because I I don't want
Yeah.
made people not like each other. I like everybody.
It's just
We
that
should all be
we
friends.
care about maltodextrin, and turns out other people do as well. Mary wants to know, what flavor of Keto Chow are you drinking? Wouldn't you like to
It's
know?
a test flavor.
Okay, now Amy has a really good question. Does Redmond Relight have maltodextrin? Redmond Relight disclosed in August of 2022, so 2 years ago, that they have maltodextrin in their flavorings. When that happened, people lost their minds a little bit and started
I
to...
thought they reformulated.
They didn't. People started to say, well, that's why you use LMNT instead.
Right.
But at the time, if you asked Element if they had maltodextrin via email,
Right.
they would tell you that they were using 4
4
to 10 milligrams per serving.
Yeah, and I think that was where they said that they had the error. Right.
I still don't think that they made a math error. I don't think there was a decimal.
That whatever customer service was replying
They
was
may have
replying
been
the
given-
information that they had.
I'm sure they were replying with the information that they had, yes. So, yes, Redmond Relight does have maltodextrin. They have disclosed that for the last 2 years. They're pretty upfront about it. That information hasn't gotten out quite as much, and
Except
they
when
don't
it
have it on
happened in the first place.
They don't have it on their
I think they
packaging.
reformulated.
They didn't. I actually asked the Redmond guy that.
We can.
What the Redmond guy said is that they are working on reformulating to use tapioca maltodextrin instead of corn maltodextrin.
Okay.
I have thoughts about that, but I've actually already shared.
Can we talk about something else? I'm
Evelyn says
so
we didn't start
bored
the
of
fire.
natural flavors.
Well, I think we're actually going to... Yeah, Chris says, we didn't start it, but we're going to finish it. Well,
my gosh.
Lindsay Murphy made a really good point today in her video. Her take on the controversy is she's like,
Right.
we may be missing the point a little bit that,
Right.
trying to help people on their journey, we don't need to fight. And she's like, I'm kind of wondering if this is a secret plot by the food industry. That they're
Get us
worried
fighting
that,
amongst ourselves instead of against.
and I'm like, well, no, I don't think that it is. And I do, yeah, it's funny, but I do think that the other food manufacturers need to up their game because they have the information. They just need to be more transparent with it. So, on that happy note, you ready
Do
to...
we have any more? Are these all the comments?
We're actually caught up. Amy says, thank you. I'm new to flavored electrolytes. I've only used the Keto Chow unflavored. Well, there you go. And Cynthia says, we were all singing the we didn't start the fire yet.
We didn't start the fire.
Okay, well, we're going to go
And then
because
we're going
we've
to go
been
to
going
sleep
on.
because of the boring topic.
Yeah, and Evelyn points out, a house divided against itself cannot stand.
True. We need to stand
Yeah.
together.
Okay, well, we're going to go. You all have a fantastic day. If you want to have some fun, go read that natural flavors FAQ,
And then put
okay?
yourself to sleep.
Bye.